Hi, I'm Laura Ingle, and you are in the strategy room. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump is fighting back against allegations of sexual advances, saying the testimonies of the victims are outright lies. But there are some big donors of the Republican Party calling upon the RNC to sever ties with Trump in the wake of the claims of sexual assault. Will the RNC listen, and what decisions could they make as we near the general election? Can you believe it? In just 24 short days. Joining me now are Democratic strategist Atima O'Mara and Republican strategist Brian Morgenstern. Welcome to you both. All right, Brian, I want to start with you. So do we think that these donors are overreacting in any way? Some people are saying, you know, they're jumping the gun a little bit and trying to get these donations off the table.
Well, we're 3 weeks until the election, so if they were going to do this, they're a little late to the game, you know. But it's interesting, over the course of this election cycle, there have been various points where people have been jumping ship. For one sort of benchmark was the dust up with Judge Curiel, another was with the Khan family, where a number of people got upset and sort of peeled off. It just doesn't make any sense to, in the middle of October, decide that's when you're going to throw up your hands and pull your hair out and say, enough, you know, I mean, it's too late.
But maybe this was the breaking point. We were talking a little bit about that before we got on set here. You know, is this the last straw?
For some people.
Is that what it feels like?
Right, yes. And as I've said, at various points in the campaign, some people have decided when that straw broke the camel's back for them. That's what's happening for these individuals right now.
All right. And, Atima, we all know how important funding is to these large campaigns. So do you think the RNC will or should listen to these donors?
I think the RNC should, you know, I think any political entity should listen to donors when they want their money back. You know, they're in an interesting situation where you have folks like 3 weeks out from the election, like Brian said, just deciding now that they want to pull their money. So, you know, it's a complicated issue for them at this point.
And let me ask you this. Did you find it surprising, the timing? I mean, Brian is saying that it's kind of late in the game to do it. Is that surprising to you as well?
It's late in the game to do it, as in Trump has been insulting everybody. I mean, I think he's pretty much insulted most every demographic outside of, like, straight white guys, right? He's insulted people with disabilities. He's insulted African Americans. He's insulted Latinos. Like, he's just kind of hit. Now this is sort of like the camel that broke the straw's back, which is a little disconcerting when you're thinking, like, he's insulted all these Americans, and now, like, 3 weeks before the election, you're like, you can't live with this. All right, I guess everybody has their thing. So, you know, it's not surprising. I mean, there's been people who've been pulling away gradually over time, and, you know, now it's, you know, done for some of the others who really don't want to have, I guess, as they think, to have to explain this to their kids and their grandkids at some point.
And, Brian, there's been so much that has gone on. Every day something new pops up, or there's something new to talk about. But in terms of where we are this week, and about, you know, these people not only asking the RNC, you know, we want to get the money off the table, we want some of our money back. What are your final thoughts on that? Like, could this have lasting effects beyond what we're dealing with this election?
In every election, there are some donors who are uncomfortable and ask for their money back because of whatever certain developments in that election. This one seems to be a lot more emotional, a lot more of that happening than in other elections. So it'll be a heavier lift after this one to put the coalition, the pieces of the coalition, back together so that moving forward we can not only have a cohesive unit, but a bigger one and grow it. And so having a fractured party right now, not great, and it's going to be a challenge in the aftermath. And it'll take someone else's leadership in order to do that, and we just don't know who that's going to be yet.
All right, Atima, I want to get your final thoughts on that as well. What do you think about this in terms of a lasting repercussion and where we are with this? Your final thoughts.
Yeah, it's going to be probably something that's going to be eating them up for like about 4 years. I mean, you know, I don't know how much longer Rence wants to continue serving, but this is going to affect candidates for years. Like, you know, candidates who run in 2018, if they had anything to do with the Trump campaign, they're going to be, you know, some photo is going to surface or some tweet or something. It's going to, you know, hold them accountable. This guy is running for, you know, the GOP nomination is associated with this guy. So it's going to be something that's going to be a stench on them for a while, for sure.
All right, Atima, Brian, thank you both so much for joining us today. And for complete coverage of the 2016 election, you want to go to foxnews.com. I'm Laura Ingle. Thanks for watching.